So if you say like he's a human, you can come up and I can explain you that he's not just a human. We Christians believe that he's 100% God and 100% human. And we believe that Jesus Christ is the God in a human flesh. And also Bible says so clear, he's a visible image of invisible God. We have lots of, you can say whatever you want, you can write a book, like after 600 years saying that he's not God. That doesn't mean like I have to believe in those. I believe in the facts. So,
Hello.
yeah. So what's going on?
Good. Chilling.
So you're a Muslim, right?
Yep.
That's great. You said that Jesus is just a man. Yes, according to Quran, Jesus is just a man, but not according to the Bible.
He was a man. You said it. You said he was 100% man.
Yeah, he's 100% man, and I also said that he's 100% God.
Isn't that a contradiction?
No, it's not a contradiction.
How?
How it's a contradiction?
You can't have two opposites at the same time.
Yeah, but like it's not at the same respect. Like for example, I can give you the person of God shared two natures, divine nature and human nature, right?
Yeah,
so that's what we believe that.
Yeah, no, I know you believe.
So it's not a contradiction.
I tell you, you see, a contradiction is this: that you say it's A and also not A. So you're saying it's a human 100%, and also at the same time not human. It's actually God, a different complete. God nature is complete opposite of a human nature. Do you agree? It's a complete opposite. So you say simultaneously is both.
Wait. I didn't say that he's not a human and he's a human.
Yeah, I know.
Did I say
I'm
that?
saying no.
So
you
don't make a straw man argument. Like just understand what I'm trying to say. I said he's 100% God and he's 100% human. I didn't say he's not a human. I didn't say he's not a God. So don't say anything which I don't call it. Understand what I'm saying? So observe what I try to say. So listen. This is my room. You have to listen. All right. If you don't like, first of all, every Muslim should understand this. You should understand what we Christians say. You guys doesn't want to listen to the preaching, right? So you just want to jump into the debate. First of all, just go to church and like understand what we Christians preach about Jesus Christ. So don't say anything which I don't say.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No, the thing is, I'm already familiar, so then that's why I'm not really asking you questions because I'm already quite familiar with what your belief is. You know when you said he's 100% human and he's also 100% God, right? Now, is God human? Like in the definition of what God entails, does that entail being a human?
God took the human form. Okay, the human body was created. But now the person of Jesus Christ was created. The person of Jesus Christ, the Spirit of Jesus Christ always exists, even before the foundation of the world. That's what we believe. And Jesus, the person of Jesus, the Spirit of Jesus share the two beings, which is called the being of God and being of human. So there is no contradiction to that. So I can say that, I can say that. So he's 100% God and 100% human. So because he shared the being of God, also the being of human. Go ahead.
Look, is God nature different from the human nature? Is it the opposite?
What do you mean? Define that. Like what mean that God nature and the human nature?
For example, God has all power, whereas when Jesus came on earth, he was limited in power, or he was.
Who says that?
That's by definition what No, that's what
He can do everything what God can do, even when he was in the flesh.
Yeah, but there's instances.
For example, he did. For example, He resurrects people from the death, which only God can do.
Okay, so does the God nature need food and drink?
The being of God doesn't eat anything, but the being of human can eat. So, okay, let me give you a simple example, right? Right? Do you play any game?
So he got caught out because when I mentioned to him, can the God nature eat food and drink, and I think he kind of clicked on it in his mind that that's why the human nature cannot be the God nature, because they're completely different. And when he clocked on, he's kind of diverted to a different point now.
Like computer games, do you play? So
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
all right, like have you ever heard about the game called PUBG?
Yeah, I played that.
All right. So the character in the PUBG, it's you, right?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're saying the character is
Wait.
you, and
Yeah, right.
yeah,
So
so
if you
God
die there,
is
so if you
playing the
die
character.
there, wait, if you die in PUBG, and if you get killed, you saying to your friends, "Hey guys, I got killed, I'm died." But in real, you don't die, but you say that you die, which means the person of you sharing two beings there, the being, the computerized being, which is playing in the PUBG, which can die, but he cannot eat, but it's you there, and another being, it's sitting on the chair and playing the game. So can you see that one person sharing two beings there? Same goes with God too. The one person, the one spirit, share the two being, right? So with the being of God, he cannot eat, he cannot sleep, he cannot do nothing. He cannot die, right? But the being of human, he can eat, he can sleep, and he can die. But you cannot say that God died. So if you die in the PUBG game, I don't say you that you die completely. I never said that you cease to exist. But you cease to exist in the game, which is called you. Same goes with God too. That's what I
So
believe.
that's a flawed example. I'll tell you why.
No, it's not. It's not.
No, you have to allow me to tell you why, right? So this
Okay,
flawed
go
example.
ahead.
Firstly, no one will say Kasim. Okay, my name is Kasim. No one will say Kasim is in the game, in the sense of he is there in the world. Now that's first thing. No one will say there's two natures. Kasim
Why you
has
can't
two
say that?
natures.
Wait.
Because let me finish, bro. Let me finish. Otherwise, this conversation can't happen. You have to allow me to finish. You understand? So I allowed you to finish, and it has to be a mutual respect. So that's the first thing. The second thing is no one will say that the Kasim has two natures because the game is separate. The game is something I play from externally.
No. Well, like wait.
In the Bible, it says
Wait. I'm not saying like game is just an example, right? But we're talking about reality. Having a human nature, the human body, it's a reality. It's not just a game, but a game is an example to make you understand. You don't want to like understand this. You don't want to accept this thing, the simple thing. Even kids can like get this thing, right? But you don't want to accept that because you're a Muslim. You don't want to accept that. So have a nice day. Go ahead.
What do you mean?
So
this is a.
so then he moves me down after that. So that was only less than probably 5 to 6 minutes. We had a discussion, and he just moved me down because I was critiquing his example. So that's what I just mentioned here. And he says then he was giving some excuses, and then he was, so I was critiquing example, and then he couldn't hack it. But I was gonna give this verse. Let me show you guys the verse I was gonna give. So here, for example, I was gonna give a similar verse, either this or some verse similar. And the Word was made flesh. Now the Word they say is Jesus, and they believe this is an eternal Word. They're saying that it was made flesh and it dwelt among us. And it says here, and we beheld His glory as the only begotten of the Father. So what happened was they're saying Jesus, they're saying God took on flesh. So He took on flesh. So therefore, and I'll show you one more verse. So as you can see here, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And as we already quoted the verse, and the Word was made flesh. So therefore, they're saying that this divine being became flesh. So so it's different from the idea. He was trying to give a video game example, and I tried to critique it. I tried to explain to him why it's not the same. Because firstly, when I play a video game, I'm external from the video game. I'm not in the video game. That's the first thing. And if I was in the video game, then my nature has changed. If I was physically within the video game, then the nature has changed. Now, if I'm external from it, then you cannot then say Kasim. That is Kasim in his full glory, as it says in many other verses, and you cannot say then he took on the flesh. So, and you can't point at the person in the game and say that's God. Whereas if God is external from the game, then he's external. You can't say that's God. So there has to be made a clear distinction. Whereas they don't make a clear distinction in that way. They say he is human and God, and he's in the world. So they're not saying that it's just a human. And then they say God died for the sins. So the person who died on earth was, both human and God. So that's why it's a contradiction, a very clear contradiction. And it has many problems, because God is not deficient. And they made God deficient. There's a lot of problems. Any rational mind person who hasn't been brought up with this, and they just give it some time to think about it, they will know that God's nature is pure and he's holy, and he does not befit him to be beaten or tortured. It does not befit him to be eating, drinking, and then going to the toilet. So it's not befitting of God. It's not God's nature. And to say it's both 100% God and 100% human, it's a contradiction. Hopefully that's clear. So I'll stop here.